Welcome back to the Big 1-2 here on 365 Sports. I'm Paul Catalina. He's JD Piquel. Chalk Talk in just a minute, but please like and subscribe to the channel so that you can see all the stuff when it pops up regularly in your feed here on 365 Sports. Right now, we're going to break down Steve Sarkisian's offense that he's bringing to Texas. These are going to be Alabama plays. We're going to go to the board with Chalk Talk and JD Piquel, who's going to break down Steve Sarkisian's offense and what he's going to do at Texas. JD, take it away.
Man, so first off, we're breaking down Alabama film against Notre Dame. So it's basically an offense on air in this game. I mean, they had their way. They got whatever they wanted. So first thing that Sark's going to want to do for the Texas offense is run the ball. Like, that's it. He wants to establish the run. If you won't stop the run, they're not going to stop running the ball. So you see right here, simple power play. They got Notre Dame in a set right here. He says, Najee, come over here. So he's going to come right across. That guard's going to pull. Now, notice this. Notice this motion right here. I call that a bling motion. That's going to come back later. They do that to keep the safety on his heels. So look right here. We got the guard pulling. That's a big man. Najee Harris fits right outside of it. That's so beautiful. Najee Harris does the rest. Obviously, it's easier when you have Alabama offensive linemen, but Texas got 4 guys coming back that played a year ago. See here from the end zone angle. Let's see if we can get a better view of that. So he just falls off right there. We have the pulling guard, which signals to us it's a power play, and it's one-on-one right here. As a back, your job is to make the last guy miss. They got it all blocked up. Goes Michael Jordan on him right here. Boom. Najee Harris off to the races. If Steve Sarkisian can do that every single freaking play, he will. He will do it until you make a stop. Next play right here. So this is the exact next play. Notre Dame's kind of in a shift. They got him on their heels a little bit. And what they do right here is really impressive. So they're going to go ahead and pull this guard looking like that power play from a play ago. Again, they're scrambling. Najee Harris broke off of a big run. They're going to do the power play motion, which is going to cause this linebacker right here to fly up, thinks he's the hero, going to stop it, going to stop the run, I should say. Got a receiver coming right behind him, so we'll see it here. Bam, guard pulls. He's triggered on the run. He thinks it's power. You're so wrong. Receiver coming right behind you, it's too late. He's running free, wide open. Paul, you and I can make that throw. You see it again here. Watch this. His first step. He thinks he's got it played. He's keying him right there. So as a backer, you're keying the offensive line 9 times out of 10. That's where you're supposed to go. You don't want to have your eyes in the backfield. So he sees him pull. He runs up, thinks he's going to make a play, thinks it's the exact same play. Wrong. Again, he's running wide open. He might not even be that good, but he's good on this play because nobody even knows where the ball's coming.
All right, so here's what I've noticed about this offense compared to Tom Herman's offense. I've railed for years about Tom Herman's offense. He does not know who his running backs are, doesn't care they exist, thinks that they're just window dressing on his offense. Runs all the offensive running plays through the quarterback. Sam Ehlinger damn near got killed. I think like he really put Sam behind the 8 ball, running him as much as he did. Now, Sam can do it, but sometimes just because you can't do something doesn't mean you should. And Steve Sarkisian loves his running backs. Loves them. That goes back to USC. That goes back to Washington. Loves his running backs. And he's got one in Bijan Robinson and some other guys coming up the chain that can pretty much tote the load.
I mean, if you're a Texas fan, you should be so excited because your best player, Bijan Robinson, is going to touch the ball a whole lot more than he did a year ago. Because we saw it last year. Bijan Robinson was the guy pretty early. It's like, hey, 5 should get the ball a little more. Why is he not getting the ball more? Going to be a priority in this offense. And I think you said it right. You said it perfectly. Save the quarterback. Don't let the quarterback get killed game in and game out and be questioning him every week on the injury report. Another thing that Sark likes to do is get the ball to his players on the move. So he said it once. He's like, I'm not going to call curls. I don't remember the last time I called a curl. Why would I call a play where my best player is catching the ball, having to stop his feet and get back up to speed? He doesn't believe in that. So you'll see it right here. They're going to motion Devontae Smith down. We're going to have a nice little number set. I'll show you what that means here. We'll pause it when he gets motioned down there. Look, he's walked up. So he's giving him some depth right there. So look, he's about 7 yards back. You're 7 yards off Devontae Smith. We already like that. That's a win. You got a blocker right here. Make him miss in the alley. Mac Jones makes that read right away, gets it out to his man in space. Again, notice he's moving. He's on the run. You love that. He's already trailing behind him. He's beat him with width. And he's also the Heisman Trophy winner, Devontae Smith. So he's just going to outrun him here. Candy from a baby. This is when you knew, okay, Notre Dame's kind of in trouble. So love the fact he gets the ball to his players in space. That's enormous. We'll see it here again. Guys on the run. So we're going to motion over that H-back. He's going to do another rodeo motion. We saw it in the very first play where they send him behind the quarterback. Some people call it a bling, some people call it rodeo motion, some people call it orbit. Whatever you want to call it, they use to their advantage again here and get him the ball on the run. Another one of the receivers, really fast guy. They blitz to take away that inside zone, so it's kind of an RPO scheme. They blitz, they say that's fine, we'll get it to a fast guy on the edge. Safety triggers, gain of 8, we'll take it. So another thing they do well, they have counters for all of the ways that they want to beat you. So we saw there, rodeo motion, H-back shifts over. Like, defense is now keyed up for that. That's a big deal. So watch what happens to this safety when they motion. He thinks the same thing's coming. Watch what happens. Boom, same play. Rodeo motion. He thinks he's got it figured out. He thinks he's a smart guy. He thinks he's got it figured out right here. He's flying up. Oh, you're flying up, you're flying up? Well, guess what? We got a glance coming right behind your ear. Boom. Get him in space, off to the races. I mean, the RPO stuff is crucial for them, but the fact they have counters off of all of their big-time plays and get it to their guys in space, I mean, they're going to be dangerous this year, I think. They have an identity offensively, and that was something I don't think we saw a year ago, especially, I mean, you can have an identity be quarterback run. It's not sustainable, especially not in this modern day of college football.
No, I think Tom Herman's offense was one of these, like, it's either going to work or it's going to fail spectacularly. I mean, that's, you know, and he had a playmaker in Sam Ehlinger who was just, you know, built out of, you know, of hard, you know, just steel and nails, and he was going to fight and claw, and he kept him in a lot. The problem is that, like, you know, eventually, like, some days you have bad days.
Yeah.
You need to rely on your other playmakers to make plays. Steve Sarkisian does that in spades over and over and over again with, you know, finding, look, we see Devontae Smith a ton here. He also had Jalen Waddell before, you know, before he went down with injury. So if he's got a playmaker, he's going to find a way to use him.
He's going to spread the ball around. I think you hit it right on the head. He's got Bijan. He's got Jordan Whittington. They got a lot of playmakers on the outside they can get the ball to. So I think if you're a receiver for the Texas Longhorns, you're really excited about this offense because you're going to get the ball in space, get the ball on the move, and get the ball downfield, which I love the fact that Sark has an identity for them. Again, quarterback run, it works some days, but I mean, you can't continue to give your quarterback 20 carries a game. Like you said, Sam Ehlinger, really durable player, probably one of the best players to come through Texas, but to have him be your bell cow, not sustainable. So I think you should be excited if you're a Texas Longhorn fan.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, you know, quarterbacks run nice, but again, it's something you should like. It should be the side dish, not the main course.
And I think for a lot of those reasons, people think Hudson Card might have a more outside shot at this thing than I think we're originally perceiving. Because obviously, Casey Thompson lit it up in the bowl game, deserves all the credit that he's getting, but Hudson Card kind of fits the mold of what Mac Jones is doing here. I mean, Mac Jones isn't throwing NFL kind of throws. I mean, he's a great quarterback, deserves all the credit he's getting. He's not doing anything special here. He's making the simple read, getting it to great playmakers in space, making the simple play. Take him the defense gives him. We'll see it again here, the glance. So that's what that's called. When this, when this receiver runs like a quick slant, if you will, it's more of a post route. You're going to get a slant with a little more depth. I mean, it's an easy taking candy from a baby. Call that a glance route. And so again, RPO. Boom, pre-snap. His read is right here. If he drops, we're going to hand it to Najee Harris. Not a bad option. If he comes up, we got that glance route, like I mentioned, kind of like a deep slant, if you will. It's really a post. We'll call it a deep slant. Right behind him. So he's wrong either way. Again, Sarkisian, building in answers for whatever the defense wants to do. And that's the biggest thing. When I was breaking this film down, it was like, whatever you want to do to Sarkisian, he's got to counter for it. Like, you can never be wrong if you're in the Sarkisian offense. And I think we saw a year ago, Sam Ehlinger was just pounding his head against a brick wall, game in and game out. And it's like, well, I mean, that's all well and good, and he is Sam Ehlinger, but after a while, the wheels fall off. You're not doing a service to Sam Ehlinger. So right here, again, we'll see it. He's the read. Najee Harris, he comes up. We're going to throw it behind him. He drops. We're going to go ahead and give it to Najee. He comes up. Mac Jones sees it right away. He's got to beat him. He's got all this space in the inside. Look at that. We can get open in that space, especially for the Heisman winner. Get off me. Good ball. See you later. Outie. And Mac Jones does a great job digesting this. He reads it really quick. He knows within, even by his alignment, it's going to be tough to cover Devontae Smith. So right here, boom, he knows. He's hardly even looking at him during the snap. He's selling this fake. He bites really hard. Yeah, it's right here. It's game over for number 6 for Notre Dame. Because you're going to get Devontae Smith with a whole lot of real estate. Boom. See ya. Yeah, also number 6 is really fast. Now, again, for Texas, it would be nice if you have Devontae Smith, but the fact that they have playmakers all over the field that I think are yet to flourish should be excited if you're a Texas Longhorn fan, especially if you're in that receiver room, because that's been the knock year in and year out. So much talent. X number of 5 stars, X number of 4 stars, guys that can play football, but you don't put them in position to succeed. I think for the first time in a long time in Austin, we're going to see guys have a chance to make big plays in this offense.
Absolutely. I think that development is the biggest problem that's been a knock for almost 10 years on Texas. They're not developing guys. They're not taking to that next level. That's what Steve Sarkisian has to do. The reason I'm a little, I still think in the middle of the pack, I don't think he's had time to develop them yet. Once he develops them, this is probably a team that's going to flash probably later in the year, probably more earlier in the year, depending on how much they've picked it up. But not having a quarterback just yet, I think that might slow it down just a touch. But, hey, I think bright things are ahead for the Longhorns, and that's unfortunate if you are anybody that's not a Longhorn fan.
Yeah, I think you get on the head. The fact that they have a new coach, might take a year or two. But the fact they'll have guys in position to make plays makes me, I think, a little higher on them than potentially you are.
All right, well, that's going to do it for us here on the Big 1-2. JD, that's fantastic stuff. We're bringing that kind of stuff to you every single week here on the Big 1-2 on 365 Sports. Again, if you don't like and subscribe, we're going to send an email to all the people you work with that says that you don't like puppies. I think that's fair, right?
Yeah, I think that.
I mean that's fair. Like, if you don't like and subscribe to the channel, then, we will take aggressive action. I kid because I love. Thank you for coming in, tuning into the channel. Special thanks to Jack Mackenzie, Armstrong Sims for producing tonight. He's JD Pickell. I'm Paul Catalina. We'll see you again next week, everybody.